Now, when Lexus launched in 1989, it only had 2 models in its lineup, and one of them was the ES. So the ES has a long history with this company, and the brand new redesigned 2019 ES is actually the 7th generation of the car, and it has been changed inside and out with a new platform, new powertrains, and updated styling. Now, the ES shares the most in common with the Toyota Avalon, which was also redesigned for 2019, and the two share more than a passing resemblance. They have the same wheelbase, the same overall length, and mechanically identical powertrains, just with some slight tuning differences. From the side even, the two models look fairly identical, but the ES does have a few styling cues that let you know that it's a Lexus, starting with the grille. Now, most versions of the ES will come with this spindle grille with vertically oriented slats. If you opt for an F Sport model, you will get a more aggressive overall look, but also this 3D kind of chainmail mesh grille that looks much more aggressive. Now, the ES will be offered in gas and hybrid versions. In gas versions of the car, we'll get a 3.5-liter V6 that makes just over 300 horsepower. Now, the car that we're here with is the hybrid, and that features what Lexus is calling a 4th-generation hybrid system. It has a total system output of 215 horsepower, and its fuel economy matches the Avalon's at 44 mpg combined. Now, acceleration from the gas engine is adequate. I wouldn't say that it's mind-blowing, and that actually makes me prefer the hybrid version because you get that big advantage in fuel economy. Now, there is one catch to going for the ES, and that is it's going to be front-wheel drive only. Pretty much all the other competitors offer some sort of all-wheel drive, so it's weird that Lexus wouldn't choose to put some kind of system in the ES, and it makes it stick out for the wrong reasons. Now, the Lexus ES also benefits from the move to Toyota's global architecture. Much like the Camry and the Avalon did over the last couple years, the new platform means that the ES rides better, is less sloppy in turns, and is just overall a better driving experience. Lexus has also increased stability by adding a V-shaped brace right behind the rear seat, and it does help calm down the rear a little bit, especially under braking, but what that does mean is that you can't fold down the back seat. There is a small pass-through for longer cargo, but it's not very big. You wouldn't be able to fit a snowboard through there, so for those of you who like winter sports, you might have to get a roof rack or something like that for longer cargo. Like I mentioned before, power from the two powertrains is what I would call adequate. I'm driving the hybrid right now, and while it's not fast, it's enough power for passing, and it's a smooth powertrain that transitions very seamlessly between gas and electric modes. Now, the Lexus ES also benefits from a very quiet cabin, and you can make it even quieter still by opting for an ultra luxurious package, which comes with 19-inch wheels that are designed to be quieter than other wheels. They've cut a channel out of the wheel, and they say that helps to mitigate some of the road vibrations and noise. And when I drove a vehicle with those wheels equipped, it was noticeably quieter than the car that we drove this morning. Now, the 2019 ES also introduces the F Sport version of the car, and what that has is more aggressive styling, a stiffer anti-roll bar in the front, and its own Sport Plus drive mode. It also comes with an adaptive variable suspension that Lexus says can firm up the ride to make it more dynamic in turns. I didn't necessarily find this to be true. I thought that the F Sport actually drove pretty similar to the non-F Sport models, which means that what you're getting with the F Sport is mostly an appearance package, along with some sport seats that do have nice bolstering, but don't expect the F Sport to suddenly become a sport sedan. The ES is pretty quiet and comfortable most of the time, but there is one situation in which that gets broken up, and that's when you really lean into the throttle on the hybrid version. Now, the hybrid models actually come with some specialized sound deadening, which are meant to filter out the higher pitched noises that you get from an electric drivetrain. However, that sound deadening doesn't do much for the 4-cylinder drone that you get when you really lean into the car like this. Another thing that's much improved on the ES is this new interior, and that's both from materials and a styling perspective. Now, the cabin materials have taken a big leap forward. I would say this actually feels like a bona fide luxury interior now, whereas the previous ES felt upmarket, but not quite luxurious. The model that we're sitting in also comes with the available 12.3-inch screen, which is high resolution and high up on the dash, so it's easy for you to see while driving. Now, all of these things on the ES are big improvements over the old model, but there is one key way in which the new ES hasn't taken a step forward, and that would be the multimedia system. Now, our biggest gripe with the multimedia system is not actually the screen itself. It comes with how you interact with it, and that is through what Lexus calls a remote touch interface. And that basically means you use a glorified touchpad here in the center console to navigate the menus and submenus found in the screen. Now, using a touchpad and a cursor is fine if you're on your laptop in a coffee shop, but not so much if you're driving and you have kids in the back and you have traffic and cars moving around you. It's just a lot to take in if you're driving, and it's pretty much impossible to use without looking down at the screen. Lexus did add Apple CarPlay and Amazon Alexa integration to the ES. However, there are catches to both of those at launch. The car is going to come out in September, but it looks like Apple CarPlay won't be standard on the car until after October. You can get it on ES models with navigation, but if you don't want navigation, you won't be able to get Apple CarPlay until you buy a car that was built after October 1st. On the Alexa side, the Amazon app that's required by Lexus to use the full Alexa functionality in the car won't be certified on the App Store until November. However, it will be available for those who have Android phones. So while you might not have Android Auto, you will get to enjoy full Amazon Alexa integration before your friends with iPhones. Now, this pre-production model that we're in actually does come with Apple CarPlay, and we had a chance to play with the system, and we think that it works quite well here. The screen is very wide, and Apple CarPlay is actually able to fill the whole thing, so you get more icons than you do normally on the home page. And we think that it's actually a good direction for Lexus to take in the future with this system if they want to stick with a touchpad, because Apple CarPlay uses large icons that are easy to see, while the Lexus menus are smaller and you have to go through more steps to find what you want. Now, there's no question that the 2019 Lexus ES is a massive improvement over the 2018 version of the car. I think that it's more stylish, I think that it drives better, and I think that the interior is more luxurious. It also has a massive back seat that can fit 2 adults comfortably over long voyages. And this makes the ES a great road trip car, much like the 2019 Avalon is. Now, the caveat is, you're stuck with that multimedia system. And this is something that we could say about most Lexus products, is that without that multimedia system, they would actually be a more compelling buy. For me, is it a deal breaker? It just might be in this car, because everything else seems so good that that sticks out like a sore thumb. Now, we're still waiting on official pricing figures for the 2019 ES. All that we can tell you is that it will start at around $39,000, with hybrid models commanding a $3,000 premium on top of the gas versions. Official pricing should come closer to the car's on sale date in fall of 2018.